Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Stephanie, the creative girl behind the designs. If you're stopping by my channel for the first time, be sure to turn on your notification alerts so that you know when I post my next video. So today we are going to be working, well, I won't be working in this. Hey, do you recall this? This is my creative journal. I haven't touched it in forever, so I have some serious catching up to do. But I want to create in advance something fun to put in here for when we go to the pumpkin patch. Stay tuned. Okay, so welcome back. I am going to be getting set up today, just a fun little page for my creative journal to kind of slip in there. And I won't be working in this just today, but I am going to be bringing this back into the mix in the coming videos. So stay tuned for that. So this is going to go into my creative journal. And if you're wondering, this is the, and you know, I knew I'd forget the name. Let's see, do I have the paper in here? I do. This, I kept the paper. This says that it's Moody Florals. And it has this gorgeous hydrangea. It's kind of got like a pinkish, whitish, green coloring. It's just gorgeous. And I'm using it as my creative journal. And then I added to it green metal discs that came off of, I want to say, the Dream Maker planner. So that is my creative journal. And I'm going to set it aside because I'm not working in it. I'm just creating something for it. So I have a piece of vellum, and basically I'm going to create a memory page out of vellum and some stickers. I've got this cute little leaf paper punch, and I've got my little Canon film smart sheets, so it's not the actual film. So if you recall, I have the Canon Ivy, which I love for memory keeping. And every time you load in a film packet, what pops out first is this blue paper. And so I always keep these because these become markers for me when I create a page that I don't yet have the picture for. So I always hold on to these. So that's a little tip. And so here's my vellum. I've already pre-cut it to the classic size. And then I've got, I don't know if I'll be using anything from it, but I've got the seasonal sticker book. I've got, of course, my drill down sticker books, which, as you know, these were 2 books in here. They're both fall, so this is the cover of one. And then this is the cover of the other one, I think. Here we go. So these 2, I've marked some pages for items I think I want to bring out. And then I also have this simple little leaf, which came out of this sticker book, and it's the last leaf I have of the, it's kind of like a coppery, if you can tell, coppery color, which is kind of going to be the basis for the vellum today. So I'm just going to jump in and get started so that I know where I am working in terms of where to place things. I pulled out my Happy Planner punch. And I'm going to punch my page because I know that, then I know how far not to go over. So I'm just going to go ahead and punch it. With this, you have the option of, you can create a page on vellum and laminate it if you want like a little bit more durability. But I'm actually going to be adding photos, so I don't plan to laminate this. So I'm going to then take my little paper punch, and I'm going to punch the corners. Now, to make sure I don't punch in a direction I don't want, or too far in, too far out, I always just turn it over here so you can see. I think you can see that. So I'm just going to go to the edge of the vellum as close as I can, and just cut that out. So as you can tell, just a cute little leaf cutout. I'm going to do the same on the other side. And then here's the interesting thing. So a couple things before I go any further. So when I cut this down, this is actually a regular 8.5 by 11. And I always keep these scraps. I put them in my bin. As you know, I have a scrap paper bin because I never know when I can use them. And the same will go for these little leaves, cutouts. They're going to go into the scrap bin as well. I'll probably put them in a plastic baggie so I don't lose them. But those can work great if I ever create a shaker board. I can kind of tuck those in as well. So I won't get rid of those either. I'll hold on to those. All right, so I have my 2 leaves. Now, the harder part, again, I'm making this for when we go to the pumpkin patch. You know, I always get pictures and I want to be able to put pictures on here. Before I go any further, let me grab a piece of paper. Let me see if I have a scrap piece of paper here. I'm noticing that, okay, this isn't quite the fall paper, but I wanted you to be able to see the vellum that I'm talking about. It's really hard to see the vellum, so this was the best thing I could come up with. So anyhow, these cards, I don't know what they're called. I'm going to situate them on the vellum where I think I might put the photos. And they may get moved around a little bit here and there. I'm just going to set that right on top just so I have a direction. And then what I'm going to do is start, because I'm going to add stickers, and that's going to be my piece. Now, obviously, once I put the stickers down, they're down. But the nice thing about this is I can move these anywhere I want, and then I can decide how I'm going to put this together. So I could do some overlapping a little bit. And with the Canon photos, you can cut them down. So you can do 2 pictures on one, cut them in half. I'm debating if I'm going to use 4 because that takes up a lot of space on a classic size piece of paper. So I'm thinking that I may only use maybe 3. All right, so let's see what that gets me. So here's my little leaf. And in here, I'm just going to also move this one aside for a minute, just to give me some more room. All right. So for my paper, I'm going to try and keep that together. I had pulled out some ideas. So when you're using vellum, I always like to try and use clear stickers just because it looks a little bit better. The other thing you could do is, let's say you got your paper together, your vellum, and it just wasn't standing out enough for you. You could put behind it a piece of scrapbook paper, and then that image would kind of show through faintly. You could back it, just put it in your planner with some scrapbook paper behind it, or you can attach it to the vellum to give it just a little bit more look if that's what you're looking for. But, so I'm going to obviously be doing something fall and pumpkin related. So I am going to go to, I had some pages marked. So I've got this one marked, because of the pumpkin. And let's get to the bigger ones because that's the ones I want. Okay, here we go. So this was the one I was thinking of using, which says Hello Pumpkin Season. My idea was really to kind of potentially put it right in the middle, but that would be a problem on the basis of how big these photos are. Unless I rearranged them in such a way that it might work a little bit better. So I could do something like this. And then I can sort of, it's not very big. I could get that into the middle. So that's an option. And then I also have saved some of these words, which also have a coppery shimmer or color to them. And then let's see, my last page I think is leaves. I was looking for some leaves. These are just clear, no, shimmer to them at all. They're just straight up color. So I'm thinking I'm going to use, and you know, in looking at these stickers, you could actually almost use the fall. I think it's all in frame. Let's see if I can't get this all in frame for you. There we go. Okay, so you could also use this one, which is Autumn is Here. Again, depending on whatever you're making. And then there's a fall one. So I think I'm going to grab this one out, because at least if I know where that one is, I know where everything else may go. Because the others are just kind of words. And that may be tough because I may leave off a few until I get the pictures on there. So I'm going to grab this. And we're going to get this right on in the middle, if we can. So, and it may not be exact middle. It's really going to be based on where these pictures are. So I'm going to get this on there. Okay. I had to take a little step back there because this was almost going to get stuck behind it. So I'm just going to set this down. Get that on there. Okay. So now on that basis, it's a little confusing with the Miss Maker paper behind it, but you get my point. Okay, so if I, again, assuming that I do, let's say 3 photos. So if I put this here, I kind of want it to be different. All right, and then this one can overlap a little, not a problem. So let's see, I'm going to take this off so that I know I don't have to go back to it. Let's see, we have our words, and then those were just more leaves. Okay, so let's get some of these words on there, or quotes, I guess, is what you'd call them. All right, so we have, so everything relates to obviously fall and pumpkins. So let's see, comfy cozy, give thanks, rainy day, sweater weather. I do like it's fall, y'all. So I think I'm going to do that. Let's see, we have trick or treat. So this is going to be about the pumpkin patch. Happy harvest, I'll use crisp air. Squad goals, that's cute. Okay, and then I have my leaf as well. Now this leaf, I think, let me trim it down a little bit so you can see what I'm thinking. I had a whole sheet of these, and I used some of them, and I think this was the only one left. So I'm just going to kind of trim it out. I'm off on the side here doing a little trim up, just so I could put it down on what would be the photo. So I'm thinking I may do that. And let's see. Let's get that out of the way. It's hard when you don't have the photos to actually add to it already. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to actually even put all of them, you know, straight. I think I'm going to kind of vary how the wording goes in there. So I think what I'm going to do first is Happy Harvest. Oops. All right, let's get this one on there. And I think I'm going to put this one, it was hard to decide where to put this one. I don't know why. Probably because it was the first one that went down. So next I was thinking I was going to take It's Fall, Y'all. And let's get that up here. Just kind of put that down. And then I was going to do, so there are other words in here, which I wish they came in the copper. So like leaves are falling, autumn's calling, that kind of thing. Those would have been nice to put over here. But because this had the copper in it, I kind of wanted to keep that theme. So then I'm going to grab this one. Oh, you know what? I may save that one for a different project. So, and let's go with the crisp air instead. Oops. It's hard to know what the weather will be like, but okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you a little trick. Remember the sticker paper sheet that I finished? Let me grab that. Okay, so as you recall, the sticker sheet that I finished, I pulled that out because I'm gonna take a piece of it because I need it for this project. So I'm just gonna take a little piece off. And I'm going to set it against this photo. Here's a little tip for you when you're doing something like this. So I'm going to set it against the photo because when I put this down, I want some of this to go onto the photo, but I don't have the photo yet. So the best way to preserve that so that it doesn't stick all the way down is to do this. Okay, so now it is stuck onto this paper. And so when I get my photo, I can just pull this back, put the photo down, and then put that over the photo. Hopefully that made sense. Okay, so let me check out. These are not colored or like shimmery, but I'm also gonna look in this book here. I had this book set off to the side, and there's some in the back of this book. So again, they're not shimmery in any way, but I may have to make an exception. So I'm going to take the sheet out just so that I don't have to keep this big clunky book out here. All right, so then I wanted to scatter around like some leaves and another thing we do, so I'm going to take another piece of sticker paper. I need another piece. I'm just going to cut off a little strip. Okay, so this I'm now going to put on this photo. Because when we do our pumpkin patch, we always go get the pumpkins and then we go have some coffee. And I think what I'm going to do is I am going to do the same thing I did up there. So I'm going to put the little coffee there. Okay, so see, this is so cute. Pumpkin spice, right? Love it. All right, so we're going to put this coffee cup here. So all that means is that when I get the photo again, I'll pull this back, put the photo on, and then I can take this backing off and it'll come right off. So now that I've got that on there, I am going to add in some fun accents. So I have a lot of copper, and so I'm going to add in, I think, some of these leaves. I like these leaves, but these kind of match that. So I just am looking for something, but something a little extra. So let me grab some of these off and let's start popping them on. So I think I'm going to start with some orange. And we're just going to, you know, kind of randomly put them in various places. Oops, I'm going to go for this one first. And then we can do this one, this one, and let's see, we have green in here. There was no green in here, interestingly enough, but I may add some of these green leaves just for a little bit of color. And then over here, we're gonna do the bigger one first. Oh, actually, I'll do that last because that one's there. I don't want them. And I'll grab an orange. I love how this is coming out. I can't wait to get the photos. Okay, so before I add any more leaves, or I talked about, you know, putting on the green, I think I'm gonna see if I can do something. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I decided I think I want to put the pumpkin down here, which means I have to pull that up a little bit. I don't know that I've ever pulled anything off of vellum, so let's see how that's gonna work. Okay, so far so good. Okay, let me grab my pumpkin. I was gonna put it against a photo, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I decided I wanted to get it in down here under the Happy Harvest. And then I'm gonna move this leaf too. Well, that works out nicely. If you ever have to take clear stickers off of vellum, it does work. That I'm happy about. Okay, so let's get back where we were. A little bit of starts and stops, but you know, in the end, it'll be a great page that I can add to my creative journal. All right, so this is gonna go down here. Oops, didn't give myself enough room. All right. So here's a trick I also learned. When you're dealing with foiled quotes and words and letters, I found that the best thing you can do when you pull them up, if you can, is pull them up. Let me see if I can demonstrate. Let me push this aside for a minute. Let me bring back over this paper. Make sure there's nothing on it. So if you're pulling up a sticker that has foiling, don't pull up, hopefully you can see this. Don't pull up like this. Pull up as best as you can by holding the paper straight. Because, and I'll show you, because it happened with this, because I wasn't sure if it was going to come up. Okay, so I don't know if you can see on HAR, it's a little rippled. Hopefully you can see that. So that's what happens when you pull up foiled letters. If you roll them, it's going to do that. But if you pull them up as straight as you possibly can, like vertical in a way, by holding the paper and pulling it, you won't get that the lines or the rippling. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this leaf here, because I'm going to grab some of these letters. Oh, you know what? It doesn't, I thought I'd have numbers. Okay. So I stepped out for a quick minute to grab these. These letters came from, they sort of have that same foiling, that copper foiling, and they came from the This Is Your Year to Shine, Be Happy box, if I remember correctly. These have numbers, so I'm gonna pull those out. I still need to get some green leaves in here, which I will, but I'm gonna get the year in here. The numbers are smaller, which is okay. So let's see, we're gonna do, oh, these are bigger, but I used both of the 2s. So I guess I gotta go smaller. And what I'm gonna do is border it down the side here. I may need to put a little something on them to stay down. So I will keep an eye on those to make sure that they don't come off. I may have to give them a little extra stickiness. So let's keep going. I love how this has come out. So I need to get something here, I feel like. So I want to make sure I grab the green leaves. Okay. So let's get a few green, and the green are bigger, so I may only use 2. But if I do, let's see. I get a little messed up with the sidebar over here. It's, I see it and then I think I can't put something there. And the other thing I was going to do, and again, you could do this, you could border the edge with some, washi. That may be something you'd like to get in there, but that's up to you. Let's see, I think I'm going to put a couple little acorns. One there. I know I said one more, and here I keep going. I think I'm going to do way up here. And then I will cut the edge off. Okay. Now the only thing I did notice that I had to do was, I'm going to do the same thing with this leaf because my picture is moving and I want to make sure I get it in the orientation that I wanted it in. So let me get this sticker off of here. And then I'm going to get another piece of this paper. I probably could use the paper it was on, but I want to make sure I get a good square edge to it. All right, so if I just put this paper here, because that's kind of where I want to put it. So let's put this here. I want a straight edge, as straight as I can get it. Okay, and then I will be putting this here. Okay, so let's go with that leaf. So I would do probably this one, let's say. Yeah, we're gonna move the brown leaf. This is what I really like about this vellum, is that when I wanna change something, it's just super easy to pull it up and move it around. So that makes it really nice. I lost a picture. Okay. Let me get this back on here. I will edit this video quite a bit just so that you're not getting all these starts and stops. Okay, so if I do this one, I'm looking for position. Maybe here. And then this one I can just put here. All right. At least that pulls in a little bit of the yellow. That's good. Okay. I'm loving it. So I have just one more spot over here, but I feel like I want to do a yellow, but that yellow is too big. Maybe I can try this smaller one. Let's try that. It's a little bit smaller, not much, but a little bit. I could if I changed this orange leaf. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I'm just trying to get all the stickers in there. Okay. And then if I put this one here, then I can put the orange one back. Let's say closer to the fall. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I probably could keep going, but I'm not going to. I think we're good. Let me just get this set aside so I can step back and take a look. Okay. It's hard to tell with the blue paper in there, right? I do think I need something else. Let me try something. So before I actually put it down, I am going to see if adding a few accents that, you know, like around here, there's those dots, which happen to be copper. I don't have any copper dots, but I do have these. Look how fun these are. And I want to see, as I made a mess, how these might look if I just kind of stuck a few down. Let's see if I can just get them off my finger. I just want to see what it'll look like if I scatter some of these. I'll pick up my mess later. Oops. They either go everywhere or I can't seem to pick them up. I just don't want to glue them yet if they don't go. How does that look? I'm kind of liking it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to scatter those around as well. To do that, I'm going to use this, which is a, it provides like a smidge of glue. So I'm hoping this is going to work. Well, let's see if I can get this to work. I don't like to give up too easily. Okay, so basically I have this glue pen. It's just a little pen. And I'm going to try and put a little dab of glue. Let's see if it'll work. I have to have one of these ready to go. So this stick is a little, it's called Quick Stick. You can pick something up that's really small and it'll easily pick up. So what I need to do is pick it up with this, but glue it with this. So it's a very, going to be, I think, a tedious process. So I will do that off camera. And I just wanted to show you the tools I was going to use. And I will get whatever I can linked in the description box below. But this is going to be our 2023 pumpkin picking memory page. So I just wanted kind of a swirling of fall and autumn and the pumpkins. I have my placeholders for my photos, to which actual photos will be added. And then these will stick over that photo. And then I can just pop it into my creative journal and it'll be ready to go for whenever I wanted to look back on my memories. So I hope I have inspired you to do something creative today and every day, and that you create your beautiful life one plan at a time. Thank you for watching.